guys. Y'all. Okay, I've been wanting to talk my shit. I've been wanting to talk my shit for a while and tell my truth. But I was waiting. I didn't feel like the time was right. And I have a lot to say. As you know what I'm saying, as stunning as I look, I have been going through a lot over the past year. And I think the hardest part for me through this whole process is just not being able to use my voice properly. Some of you may know I'm a stand-up comedian. That's one of the things that I do. And obviously, like with quarantine, like I haven't really been able to like get on a mic. And on one level, like comedy is to make people laugh, but on another level, like for me, comedy is to like to speak truth. And so like not having this ability to like talk truth to a lot of people has been very difficult for me. And one of the things I've learned, so for this conversation, I'm going to be reiterating the call out that I've done of an abuser. And I think the hardest part for me is that, when you try and call people out, suddenly this is when you end up going into a very like political realm. And in my opinion, this political realm, like this activist political realm of, it's not real activists, right? It's like this performativeness is disgusting. And I feel like a big part of how we think of call out culture is with the concept of everything being calm and everything being in good time and everything looking clean and everything being quiet and not speaking. And so I just kind of want to relay my experiences of what this whole experience, like what this whole situation has been for me. And then I'm going to bring in the person who was the mediator for this whole accountability process. So boom, the way I want to do this is like, I don't want to talk too much about the graphic things that have happened in the relationship because I don't want to re-trigger myself. And I also don't feel like I should have to be telling all of my stories for me to even be listened to. If you know what I'm saying, I feel like if you don't believe me off the jump, it doesn't matter what kind of fucking receipts and how much detail I give you, because you have deemed me to be someone who you don't want to believe. So I'm only talking to people who want to believe me. I'm only talking to people who want to actually stand behind survivors and speak up. I'm not talking to you political people that need me to show out my receipts. I was in a relationship for 8 months. At one of the worst times of my life, like just ample amounts of like family issues. I was living in Berlin, Germany. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I was living in Berlin. I was very, very isolated. And I ended up in a situation that was just really, really abusive. And I think I knew it was bad, but I feel like it wasn't until the very end that I started to, it's kind of like a tempo. Like it starts like this, and then it's just really, and then you're like, fuck, I have to like make decisions very quickly. And I got out of the situation that I would say was physically, emotionally, spiritually, medically, all of it, just abusive on they hit the Pentagon. And also, hey, when I tell you I have my megaphone, I will be reiterating my words. I am not trying to do this shit in like a very clean and nice and calm way. I'm really against this. And so when this whole abuse situation happened, I was being contacted by this person after I had blocked them on everything. They were contacting my friends. I was scared for my life. I left the continent, child. I literally went to America and I was having PTSD nightmares. I don't know if y'all have ever had that before, but I was having like PTSD nightmares, and that shit was like just very fucking intense. And I started to go to therapy, and I was like so scared. And I had reached out to people like individually to say like, hey, I saw that they were still following this person, Caleb Brooks. But for me, I call this person trash can because I don't like to say their name. And I know I might not be politically correct, but that's what I say, okay? So I had messaged everybody and I was like, hey, you guys are following my ex who's abusive. I just want to let you know before you move on. And the way I was gaslit, like the comments I heard were just so wild. Like, some people were telling me I'm not really gay, which I don't know what that has to do with being in an abusive relationship. But just like, when people gaslight you, they'll bring up everything and anything that's not related to diminish and belittle your experiences. So people were saying you're not gay. People were saying that people were like, oh, but we can't throw away somebody in the community. People were like, this is not the way to go about it. Like, we can't throw away people in the community. And I just think this is like such a problematic way of thinking about things. Because when you say like, oh, we can't throw away people in the community, like what option do we have, right? So, and ultimately, what does it mean to throw someone away in the community? What does that actually mean? Like, because ultimately, when you don't listen to me and you don't center the things that I want, you're throwing the survivor away. And so, okay, before I even get into it, I'm gonna bring in Tobi because Tobi was the moderator during all of this, and they can kind of like co-sign on some of the things that I'm saying. But let me just give me a second. Tobi. Hello.
Hey.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Mayowa. That's how you say it. Not Mayowa, not Mayowa. Mayowa, okay? And my pronouns are she, they.
I'm Tobi, pronouns they, them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I was gonna go.
No, I hear
But let me
you.
just bring you in so that if I say anything and like you can just co-sign. But when I had reached out to these people, like everybody was just like 90% of it was gaslighting. And I'm gonna be completely real with you as well. The people who were mainly like saying that I can't throw away somebody and like this is the way I'm going about it is wrong. Because ultimately what I was asking my request was that people would just stop following this person because this person is having a platform and continues to have a platform even though they're actively being abusive to dark-skinned femmes. And when I had told them, they were like, well, we can't throw this person away. We can't throw this person away. And what they don't realize is that they're actively throwing me away in the process of doing this because I had no one. And the only person who reached out to me to see if I was okay was Tobi. And not to mention that the people who were saying to me, trying to gaslight me and telling me I should be quiet, all of them were light skinned. Majority of them were light skinned. And I also feel like there's this allegiance to wanting to protect light skinned people and literally dispose of dark skinned people all the time. And it happens in every fucking arena. And I honestly feel like the reason in which this process is so slow is because of the intersections that I'm sitting on and because of the intersections that this person is sitting on.
Yeah. So this has been the first time Myra reached out to me about this whole thing was I wrote it down. It was on the 19th of June. Okay. We're in December now. And between then and now, Myra has had to recount all the instances of abuse that they've experienced in this relationship so that we have paperwork, which I think is really fucked up. But this so that we have paperwork to prove that these things have happened in the relationship and then ask for accountability from the person who caused the harm, who is Caleb Brooks. These things are, this is classic textbook behavior of, hey, I want you to be accountable for this thing that you've done for me and it's done to me. And instead of people taking accountability for their actions, they try and find ways of like going around and denying or all of a sudden just not remembering the things that they've done. I will say also that I try to do this the official way, okay? For everybody who's trying to be political, trying to talk about how we don't throw people away, how we should be about community. Nobody can come to me and tell me that I'm not about community. Like, nobody. They just can't. Myra has reached out to whoever it is. I don't know how many people that Myra reached out to ask for support. To ask
like 50.
50.
Like 50 people, everyone who I saw that was following this person, because it was so triggering for me to see that why are my friends following these people? So I reached out to, I'm sorry, some people in this live know I've reached out to many people just to say, can you unfollow because I'm scared. Sorry.
Yeah, and this is also the thing, like if somebody asks you to unfollow somebody, they're asking you that because you're following them, right? So they're following you, they can see all the things that you're posting, they can see the things that you're liking. You being asked to unfollow somebody is not you being asked to throw them in the bin. You can decide to go and ask that person to be accountable. But instead of doing that, a lot of people decided that the best thing to do was to ask Mayowa if Mayowa has asked the person to take accountability. How are you asking a survivor? How are you asking a survivor to be the one doing the labor? A dark-skinned Black person who also is essentially kind of new in this community, right? And that's the way it goes. A lot of abusers really love to be out here preying on new queers, on baby queers, on people who have just moved to the city. This happens all the time, but nobody talks about it because we don't want our community to be like uncomfortable or like, oh, we don't want any discomfort. But babes, we need to live in our messiness because otherwise we're just feeding cyclical ways of engaging with trauma. Like, how can we be accountable if we're not being accountable to the people around us? But you want to consume Mayowa's work. You want to be following Mayowa so you can see all the things that Mayowa is posting on social media. But you don't want to check for Mayowa if Mayowa is okay. This is really disgusting to me because this is not the first. I said to Mayowa, because of this process, I counted the amount of accountability processes that I've engaged in since the 5 years that I've been engaging in community and in queer community in the UK. 19. 19. And half of those have been dark-skinned Black femmes. And guess who didn't get their accountability? The dark-skinned Black people. I'm so tired of it. I think it's really, really important that we start to find other ways of dealing with things that aren't just running away from conflicts, because otherwise we're throwing people in the bin who we're supposed to be looking after, who we're supposed to be protecting. And then where are we supposed to go? And I say this as a survivor myself, who has had to, on multiple occasions, do accountability work for myself, because people were out here being like, kumbaya, you know, like, don't throw people away, don't bring all these uncomfortable things to our space. Babes, what do you mean? So where am I supposed to go? Where is Maya supposed to go? So these are the questions that, yeah, Maya, please.
Political people, they genuinely have no fucking strategy. Like, they're like, literally, it's just telling you to shut the fuck up. Because I'm like, you're saying, me asking you to unfollow this person somehow is me asking you to throw them away. Weird. Okay, so like, let's say that's not the option. You don't want this person to be thrown away or whatever. Then, so you're gonna keep following them, or you go, and then there's people asking me, people are writing me like, hey, I'm just gonna message them and double check. Oh, okay. So you just want to put my life at risk. So you just want to ask, you know what I mean? The way we really don't think about the person who's on the other end. And did not anyone think about how hard it was for me to message 50 people? Yeah. You guys are all following my ex, who I'm scared of, who I've blocked on all social media. And this person just coming up, and then now he's like, in the beginning, he was like, I didn't know. I had no clue Maya felt like that relationship was abusive. It was very lovely for me. For who? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. These are all things that happened. Like, so we sent this document of all of the kind of instances of abuse, like, that Maya felt like she needed for Caleb to acknowledge, or for Caleb to take accountability for. This was a 4-page document. Why does somebody have to do this? To re-traumatize themselves, to re-trigger themselves, to be able to say to somebody, oh, you did these things to me, and here is the proof of it. And the things that Maya put in that document were things that Maya literally has proof, paper, text, everything to back up, okay? And we made sure, because people like to be like, oh, we're not going to believe you if you don't show us the receipts. Why can't you just say, hey, this person is in pain, this person is hurt? Even if you don't believe it, that doesn't matter. Like, they've come to you and they've said, hey, I'm not feeling okay. This person's done these things to me. Why do you have to go and ask the person who's done the thing to them if the thing that they're saying is true? Does that even make sense? That's nothing. That's nothing. That's nowhere near what we should be doing. And if you don't know now, let me just say it to you now. If somebody comes and causes harm, comes and tells you that somebody has caused them harm, then all you need to do is, okay, what do you need? That's it. Should I call you right now? Should I come and pick you up? Okay, like, within your capacity, of course, because I'm not trying to be ableist or to be like, everybody needs to be supporting survivors, because we are many multifaceted beings in this world, right? We all have our capacities. We all know how much we can do. But the first thing you're not going to do is go and reach out to the person who's caused them harm, because then you're saying, hey, I'm going to put you at harm. Like, I'm going to put you in harm's way to be able to justify the things that you have experienced as being true or not. It's not right. It's tiring. And at the end of the day, we're here now because Caleb is refusing to take accountability. Maya has said to Caleb, hey, Caleb, like, I would like for you to publicly acknowledge the things that you've done to me as harm, but we've got no response from that. What we've got is people telling us that we shouldn't post anything on social media about it, that we shouldn't talk about it, that we need to be quiet. We can't do that if you're not even going to be like, okay, yeah, fine, I've done these things. When you have also acknowledged at least 4. I read the document again. Caleb has acknowledged at least 4 of the things that Maya has said, hey, you've done this to me. And that shouldn't be how we go about these things. Like, nobody's asked Maya, what do you need? Like, Maya, like, are you okay? The people who are doing that
also, and the main people who have checked in on me have all been dark skinned. Yeah. That's like what I think is just the gag. The main people who have checked in on me have all been dark skinned. Like, are you okay? Are you good? What do you actually need?
Yeah. So I don't know where we're at in this world, where we're at in this thing. Like, I'm still here, like, trying to build community, but it doesn't exist. It's not real for a lot of us. It's not real for a lot of dark skinned, queer, non-binary, gender non-conforming people who don't have, like, the same levels of proximity to whiteness as a lot of the other people in our communities do. Somebody being on a platform does not mean that they're safe, okay? Just because Maya has however many followers does not mean that Maya is all right. Social media is not the be-all and end-all. Like, people still have to live. People still have to navigate society. People still have to be able to think, oh, can I be in this space and be, you know, be okay inside of it? And yeah, we do need to do a lot of fucking work in this community. And people need to stop preying on baby queers. Okay? All these people who have huge platforms, who are in the community, like, you need to stop. Like, you just need to stop. I say this as somebody who's also experienced that too. It's very, very weird. For you to then use that as a reason to then be like, oh, you're not really queer anyway. What do you mean? When did there become like some kind of gatekeeping to identity? Also, are you realizing that all this language that we're using is all colonial? Like, it's all this colonial shit. I'm a Yoruba person. Do you think I'm going to go to my mom and be like, oh, mom, I'm queer? And she's going to be like, yeah, I know what you mean. She doesn't know what that is. So, like, language is not going to be our savior. Language is not going to... Our savior is going to be the actions, the things that we're doing to support each other, the ways in which we're actually showing up for each other in community. That's the only way we're going to survive. So if you're not about that life, you can't come and tell me that you're part of my community, because I don't know you. What have you done? Like, how have you showed up? Like, what have you actually done? So these are my questions, and these are the reasons why it's very important for us to not be hiding behind, you know, like email back and forth when people are not actually trying to do the work. It's okay to fuck up, but you can't run away from it. You can't run away from the consequences. If you fuck up, be prepared to deal with what that means. That's all I'm saying. Maiwa, please, this is your space. I really wanted you to be like,
no, you
speaking
said
on your experience.
I feel so mad. I just don't even know where to go. Like, I feel so mad on so many different levels, and I feel it's messy. And I think this is something that I really want to actually reiterate, is this concept of messiness. I think that sometimes people dismiss allegations. They dismiss hearing people's stories because they say, oh, this is messy. Like, I don't want to get involved with this. Like, oh, she's just trying to be messy. She's just trying to be dramatic. Since when was mess not something that has created a path to see the other side? How can this not be messy? You abuse me and you want me to live light, love? Bitch, absolutely fucking not. That's why I mean I'm not in the fucking activist spaces where I'm gonna be breathing meditation, lighting incense, and throwing shade sage at you. What the fuck? That is so unfucking ancestral. You think our people are just kumbayaing together? Not me. That's not in my practice. That's not in my lineage. That's not for my people. I'm not going to be kumbaya waiting with you. I'm not going to. I told you what I did. I first started off calling in. And this whole dumb thing of when you try and call people out, everyone's like, hey, maybe you should call in. I don't know if people realize the difference between call out and call in. I'm just going to quickly say, call in is when you're privately reaching out to somebody. Calling out is when you've done everything you can and nobody's listening, so now you have to go public. It's just as simple as that. People say, oh, call out culture is bad. You mean publicly holding people accountable? Where do you think our people have come from? You don't think we're publicly holding people accountable? We have always been publicly holding people accountable. So why is that bad? You just don't like the word. You just want the idea that maybe when you do harm, it has actions. And here's the gag, it's like you literally cornered me because I don't believe in prisons. I don't believe in calling the police. Unless, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to live my life to not believe in that, right? So I'm not going to go and get some legal thing. That's not how I'm going to go and solve the situation. So the way I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the community. So if I go to the community and you tell me, oh, I cannot do it, then what options do you have? So you don't want to call the police. I cannot call the police. Look at me. You think I can call the police?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think that police will believe me? And this is the issue, is that they are literally putting me next to this person and just deciding who do I think looks more believable.
Yeah.
Not even reflecting on the colorism. Not even reflecting on the fact that a lot of light-skinned people in this London queer scene are the gatekeepers, are the ones who have access. So who are they naturally going to be seeing themselves in? Who am I going to be looking like to them? The ways in which people, I feel like, really want me to be the bad guy. Shall be the bad guy. Like, I've always been saying that, like, if you really, you have an opinion of me before I've even opened my mouth. And when you don't, when everyone looks like you on panels and you all have proximity to privileges, somebody like me and the way I'm expressing myself right now is going to be considered disrespectful or just not professional, right? My existence is considered not professional, and you want me to play your game like you. We're not from the same cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
also, there's the thing
which everyone has just failed. It's just disgusting. And I will call names because that's the thing. Like, these people, they want to be hiding under these little veils of things. I'm not from this country. First off, I'm from Atlanta, period. And I'm switching my motherfucking accents up because I'm that type of bitch, right? I'm not from this fucking city where I'm quiet and just watching shit side by side. I'm not from fucking here. So I don't mind calling motherfuckers out and enablers because y'all have been allowing these people to do complete trash in this city. The way I spat at everything. You guys have been allowing people to do complete trash in this city. I have reached out to this person And there have been so many people that have backed this person and said to me, like, just horrible things. And like one person that I wanted to even call out, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, is Naeem. Because after this abuser has created a GoFundMe for £10,000, not dollars, £10,000. These guys like 15, 20, 15, 13, $14,000 for themselves. And everyone is resharing it. And this person called Naeem, who I don't really know too well, but I have also seen this person has just been backing abusers and making videos about, hey guys, we should hold community accountable, support community. Oh, support abusers. You know how much money I've spent in my own therapy for 1 year? I've been in therapy for 1 fucking year. Did anyone even offer to pay for my therapy sessions?
Nobody offered to pay for this accountability stuff. This has been going on since June. Okay, so we're July, August, September, October, November, December. That's 6 months of labor. That's 6 months of labor on mostly me, on mostly Mayowa. Nobody has come to be like, yo, do y'all need some financial support? Like, do you need us to give you some money towards all the transcribing that you're doing? Tobi, do you need money for all the food, all the spiritual resources that you've been using to try and support Mayowa to heal? Nobody's asking about that, but people are asking about ways to financially support somebody who refuses to take accountability. Like, I feel like it's really uncomfortable that we're in positions like this. Like when I hear from people like Naeem being like, oh, you know, Tobi, I know that you're doing the work, but then you don't even finish your message. So I don't even know what you're talking about. Yes, I'm doing the work, and what else after that? Like where else are we going? Like what are you just coming here to state facts at me, or are you coming here to be like, here are some ways that I can, you know, support to make sure this is happening? I don't want to hear your, oh, I didn't know about it before, because you know about it now. And what have you done with that knowledge? This is your friend. You're the ones who should be able to call your friends in. Like, yo, you've done this thing, my friend. What is going on? Like, let's support you. Like, are you all right? Why are you doing this? Make sure that you're, you know, doing what you need to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But I'm not hearing about that. That's not what I'm hearing about. What I'm hearing is, yeah, Tobes, I know you're doing a lot of work. Wow, you're doing so much. You're doing so much. I don't want to be doing so much. I want all of us to be doing the bare minimum, so that not, you know, little groups of people are having to be the ones doing the majority of the labor. I'm disabled. I have a child. I have family. I have responsibilities that don't have anything to do with trying to also exist safely in community. Like, we should all be taking on little amounts of the labor, so not like one person is doing everything. And that's where I feel so uncomfortable. You know your friend is fucking up, but you're just going to pretend that it's not going to happen. But you also want to say, oh, that's my friend. What is a friendship? What actually is a friendship to you? What does that mean? Because I can't trust you if you're telling me that your friend's if somebody's telling me your friend's an abuser and you have never called them in. So now
I'm make a video for like GoFundMe.
It's boring. It's really boring.
You know, well, like it's sick. It's sick.
We have so much work to do. Like, we have so much work to do. We have so much work to do that we can't run away from. We can't keep hiding under veils of silence. We can't keep being like, no, we're not going to believe survivors, because this is the year where we leave all of that shit behind. If we don't leave it behind, then this is what's going to have to keep happening, is that we're going to have to keep having to have all these public call-out conversations. We're going to have to keep having all these websites where we're naming abusers. We're going to have to keep having all these Twitter threads where people's information is being spread because they don't want to be accountable. Because you're not giving survivors the chance to heal. You're not giving them the space to process the trauma that you have been responsible for putting into their bodies. As if we as queer people, as if we as Black people don't already have enough trauma to have to engage with. Why do we have to also then deal with the extra nonsense on top? Because if from June, when this shit started, Caleb had been like, yes, this has happened. What can I do? How do I make it better? I am sorry. We wouldn't be here. We would be somewhere entirely different. Caleb would be getting support. Mayowa would be finding closure. But now we're having to take the closure. Do you know the amount of energy that this shit takes is unfair? Like, it's not okay. We can't keep pretending like it's not happening, because it is. If I see you on the road, don't come and smile at me like it's all good. It's not all good. Like, it's not okay. Like, I'm not going to pretend. You know, and the thing is about this, okay, I think I need to give a bit more context. Mayowa, is the reason why I also felt really responsible is because I'm supposed to be doing this, because I'm making a lot of work at the moment. I'm making a lot of art. I'm supposed to be exhibiting some of my work at the ICA next year alongside Caleb. And for me, I want to be exhibiting work to people who I feel like our politics are, if not aligned, at least safely adjacent. So I reached out to institutions, okay? I reached out to people within institutions to be like, hey, I just heard that this thing is happening. I feel really uncomfortable about, being in proximity to somebody who is not taking accountability. What can you do to help me? Do you know what these institutions said to me? They said, you can just talk to them and tell them that, you don't feel comfortable engaging with them. Is that the solution? Is that the solution? I don't understand how that's where we're at. If institutionally we can't get support, in the community we can't get support, where the fuck are we supposed to go? All the people that were saying we shouldn't throw people away, where is Maya supposed to be? So just leave Maya in her trauma bin or what? Like, I don't get it. And it's not to say that we have rule books or this is the way accountability is supposed to go. Accountability is supposed to be led by the survivor. Accountability is supposed to be led by the needs of the person who has been harmed. First and foremost, before you start thinking about the person who's caused harm, make sure that the person who has been harmed is all right, or at least able to access all the resources that they need to be fine and to heal, because they're going to have that for the rest of their lives. They're going to have like the trauma that's been put into their bodies, and like that's not going anywhere. But then you see the person causing harm like just chilling around, hanging out, being on platforms, doing panels, and we're just all supposed to be okay with that. We're just supposed to just smile and take it. That's not a vibe. That's not a thing. We need to stop, please. People are dying. Literally, do you know who's dying the most? It's people that look like us. People that look like Mayowa. Like, we're the ones being literally murdered, committing suicide. And that's not to minimize the fact that other people are also experiencing these things. But there is a disproportionate amount of us experiencing it. And that's where the problem is. So and please, Mayowa, go, please.
Too, because I honestly feel like, I think I honestly wear my pain very well, because in my soul, I'm genuinely just a glamorous fucking bitch. Like, just really, that's just who I am. But I want to say, like, the ways in which, like, I can't even explain, but when, like, you're like, oh, these people want to kill me. Like, I don't know if that's ever come to you guys. Like, you've ever been with somebody so dangerous, so unsafe, so someone putting your life at so much risk that you're like, this right here, like, you guys are intentionally just beating me as I'm down. And I'm so thankful I have support. Like, I have therapy, I have a great partner, I have great friends, like all these things. I have these things in place. But I know that if I didn't have these things in place, you're so used to doing this to people that you just expected me to borrow and to be quiet. And there are certain things about me that is honestly just blessed from a higher power, all powers, of the fact that, like, I speak. I will always speak. If there's one thing about me that honestly people can really vouch for, if you ask anyone, I will not lie. I wake up every day, I try my hardest to not lie. Every day, I try my very fucking hardest to be honest. And the problems I have with people is because I do not lie, and then because I speak. And people do not want somebody like me to be speaking what I'm speaking. And I always say, my only allegiance in this world is to truth. And I will cut anyone. If anyone is preventing me from truth, I will cut them. If it's myself, I will cut me out of my own equation. Like, I need to be speaking, because that's also like how I speak to myself. That's also on an ancestral level how I speak. I have to be speaking to truth. And so when I'm trying to be honest and say these things, and you're wanting to actually hurt me, and I'm not done calling people out. I'm going to say, like, even the partner of Naeem, Museum Mami, Kimberly, who's sharing it and saying, I'm this number one person supporter. And these people who I had known, I knew them, I had met them prior to the situation. And when I had met this person, I liked them. I was like, they seems cool. But when I knew that they were affiliated with this person, it just makes you as a survivor have to withdraw from so many friend groups. There are so many of y'all, maybe even in this life, that I've had to unfollow because you were following my ex. And either I didn't have the language to be able to tell you because I was already so beat down from the other people who had shamed me for calling them out, or I just kind of was like, let me just pull back. You know how many events you cannot go to because you're so scared of this person? I had to genuinely isolate. And as someone who is a community person, as someone who's dark skinned, I have a lot of resources that I need to have met. I cannot move the same way because I literally had to become so quiet. I would meet people. I'm sure if you guys know, I'm like, do you know my ex? Because I would be scared. Because also the way that abusers and narcissists work is that they honestly make you feel as if you're like, so like they know everyone, they have connection to everything, and so you're scared to just move, you're scared to just be yourself, to flow. And so like the ways in which I see people resharing, I've seen Travis Alabanza reshare, I've seen Tanya Compass reshare. I don't know these people on a personal level, but just seeing that they have community reach and they're writing these things without even, you know, being aware. And even after you share it and you're aware that this person's abusive, why don't you put something online about it? Why don't you say, I'm sorry for anyone who I have triggered by posting this, because this person is, I am now aware of that this person's an abuser. Like, why do we not have these systems in place? We all want to talk about abolition work. We all want to talk about how we should not throw people away, but we don't actually have systems. We have no systems in place. It's like you're saying we don't have any systems. Because the thing is, if you just tell me, hey, my name is John, and I fuck with abusers, I protect abuse, I say, okay, cool, I don't want to fuck with you, John. Like, I already just know my place. Like, just tell me you side with them so I can just know. But because people want to have access to privilege, nobody wants to just say that. And that's what I don't like, because just rock your set. Like, bitch, if you toxic, rock being toxic. Wear that motherfucking shit. Play Britney Spears, bitch. Be fucking toxic. Be that bitch. But y'all niggas want to be, I don't want to be toxic. And then you do toxic things. And that's when that shit just does not make any fucking sense. That's what I don't like. I know the ways in which I have shortcomings. And I'm like, okay, this is, if someone tells me, hey, Mayowa, you may have done something, you may have used ableist language, you may have done some shit that was fatphobic, I'm gonna say, bet, that could be very likely because of the proximity and privilege I exist in. Why is it so hard for people to understand that if you have a certain proximity, there are gonna be things that you just are not gonna be seeing? Yeah. Like, and that's why I know people are really trying to kill me, because I really feel like you guys are so used to just smearing, but you don't even know where I come from. Like, you don't even know what I have seen and what I have had to do to get to where I have had to be, and how I know I'm genuinely, every time I tell my truth, because I know one thing about myself, and I will always say, I will speak the truth, I will plant the seed, that bitch will grow, that bitch will fucking grow. I am good at growing things, I'm good at, and I have not been wrong. Find a bitch that has said a month I have lied, pull me a wrong fucking receipt, pull me a receipt right now, but that's some shit, dead ass, not one of you. I might say some off the wall shit, but in that moment, I felt like I was being fucking truthful. All the time. That's some shit. You could tell me, bitch, your eyeliner looks fucked up. I don't like the way that you wear your shoes. But you're not going to tell me I'm not fucking honest. That's what you're not going to do. So that's why I don't like this shit. Because y'all are literally trying to teeter with being honest, but also just like actually wanting to support abusers. I don't like it. I'm not from here. I will call all you motherfuckers out because I have been so displaced. Also, I want to even just put in, like, I've literally been disowned for being gay. I have no communication with my family. You know what I mean? You know how hard my life actually genuinely fucking is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go out of this room and I have a bunch of people that are gonna hug me. I have to talk to my family. And all of this stuff has been happening while I've been dealing with all of these issues. And it's really fucking sad. And I'm crying, but I'm still let you fucking know, like, this is really fucking sad how you guys I really wanted to try to kill me. And you do not know how protected I am in this world. You really do not know. Yeah. And that's what makes me sad, is that even this is like on some real ancestral shit. I'm probably another Black person. And I was so careful. And I was trying to be really like gentle. And my gentleness, I was seen as aggressive. As a dark-skinned person, when we're gentle, we're always seen as aggressive. So let me just, like, I will be that person for you. I will be who you already decided in my mind I am. Because it's really sad. Yeah. I'm not bitch crying on a fucking live.
Please, though, this is another thing. Like, our tears are not our weaknesses. Our tears are necessary. They're reactions to the world just putting violence on our body. So nobody should come and try and shame anybody here for crying. If me and Maya decide to cry from the beginning of this live to the end of this live, it is still valid. That's on point. This is the amount of people who are isolated, the amount of people who look like us who don't have support, the amount of people who don't have a platform. I'm saying this from actually having access to this on a personal level. People are being subjugated. People are being pushed down. People are not allowed to speak on their experiences because narcissists have supporters, have people who are protecting them and also making survivors believe that they're on their own. And I hope whoever's watching this, if you're a survivor, if you've experienced any harm, I hope you feel like you can reach out. Like, reach out, keep reaching out. Don't listen to people who are telling you to disbelieve your truth, to question it in any way, shape, or form. There will be people who will support you. I'm saying that now for a fact. And Mayowa, like, I applaud and I appreciate your honesty and your bravery and the strength that you've used to be able to get through the other side of somebody literally systemically making you think that you weren't able to actually just ask for help. Somebody said Monday is crying day. It's true. Monday is crying day. Let's cry.
The water has no enemy.
Yeah, also water is messy, and we are majority water, okay? So we are messy, and that's just on life. Like, that's on existence. That's on being in the world. And so if you're trying to run away from mess, then you shouldn't be around other people. You can go do that in a little corner by yourself, and that's okay. But the fact that you're choosing to engage with other people, the fact that you're choosing to engage with community, the fact that you're choosing to breathe the same air as other people around you, then you already automatically have responsibility to be able to be accountable for your actions. Even if it's simply just stepping on someone's shoe. Sorry, I stepped on your shoe. Keep it moving. Like, why is it taking this long? The, the repercussions for holding yourself accountable in this context is not prison. It's not jail. It's not like some fucked up racist or white supremacist just engagement. It is
acted as if we were trying to send this person to jail. As also something I just think is so hilarious. Like, everyone was like, whoa, 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 and I'm like, I'm not sending. I don't believe in jail. Like, what is going on? Sorry.
Why? Why can't we be accountable? Why can't we just accept? It's the acceptance, okay? We can't live inside of ignorance. That shit's gonna kill us. And let me tell you, systems are already trying to kill us. So we can't be out here trying to kill each other at the same time, because that's not a vibe. Like, accountability is not punishment. Accountability is accountability. Accountability is you acknowledging the things that you've done and being prepared for what that means. You're taking it to all these, like, oh, you know, we don't believe in the carceral state. We don't believe in, we're students of abolitionist theory. What about us that are living every day inside of a life that has nothing to do with abolition? Inside of a life that someone's going to look at you and you're already cancelled because of the color of your skin. Like, somebody's going to look at you and you're going to open your mouth and they're going to be like, oh, that person's so aggressive. Please, I'm not here for theory. I'm not here for theory. If you're not backing your theory up with actual practical steps, don't fucking talk to me about shit. If you're not here believing survivors and supporting them, then what are we doing? Why are we here? Like, why are you going to come and be in my face at a party? I will beat you in this party. Like, and then people can see the truth, because you want to say, oh yeah, it's violent, oh, let's not be violent. But you want to be doing violence when nobody's watching you do the violence. Like, that's disgusting. So how come, like, the violence that is not seen is worse, is somehow better actually than the violence that's seen? Because some people just need to actually experience violence that they've put onto other people to really understand the depths of it, to really see how that shit sits in your DNA. Like, from a scientific perspective, we already know that trauma is there. The trauma of our forefathers is inside of our own bodies, as well as their experiences, as well as their beauty, as well as their strength, as well as all the other amazing ways that they've paved the way for us to be here. So all of it exists inside of this body of ours. So for one person to come and say, no, like, you can't engage with violence when violence has been put on you, please don't come at me with that nonsense, okay? The violence already happened. The violence happened when you continued systemically inside of your relationship to abuse somebody who you're supposed to be caring for. You want to say, oh, this person was my partner. You want to say this person was somebody that I was in an intimate relationship with. But you don't want to think, maybe I could cause harm. You can cause harm. Literally, you just being can cause harm. Your proximity to whiteness is already causing harm. So if we have to slap people for them to realize that, then we have to slap people, because it's not fair. It's not fair that the people who are the ones who are then internalizing all the violence don't have any outlets for it. It's not okay. Like, I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired. So tired. I don't know where else we're going to go with this, but it can't be where we're at right now. We can't be hiding. We can't be supporting people.
Because it's like we have lost focus of who we need to center. We have lost focus of being able to center dark skin, trans, fat, disabled people. And like, the fact that is not at the center of who we choose to believe, who we choose to uplift. Erasure that this system is fucked up. Just to be able to go and twerk in the club, that's what it all's for. Ultimately, you guys are like fucking out here having parties to get sponsorships with brands. That's the kind of basic shit you want, bitch? I want fucking liberation. That's what the fuck I fucking want. Just like that, people create events to get sponsorships. That's the fucking path. Not to look after each other, not to see someone, not to build, not to grow. And I don't want to have anything to do. I'm just tired of being, I just don't want fake shit. I don't want fake shit. I don't want to be around you and y'all pretend to fuck with me in the club. Bitch, if we don't fuck with, keep that same energy online when you see me. Just keep that same motherfucking energy.
Yeah, and people also are like, oh, you know, we don't have experience of being accountability mediators. Just ask the survivor. Just do that first and see what within that survivor's request you are able to have the capacity to fulfill. Because there is no handbook. There's no textbook somewhere that's going to tell you how to be a mediator. Because all of that is, there's a lot of like white supremacist language inside of that that just doesn't, it doesn't account for the nuances of our existences as Black people. So if you're not out here just asking the survivor, hey, what do you need? Is that possible? How can I make that happen? Don't come and be like, I don't know what to do. Because that's the first thing you should have done in the first place, is just check in. Just check in. Just be like, hey, how do we support? How do we need? What do we do for you that will actually help you right now? You don't need to go and read no theory. You literally don't need theory in those moments. If you can't deliver the things that they need, go and ask another community member. I'm telling you that within your community, you already know people who are doing mediation, people who are asking to come to them if there's any problems. And there's also elders, okay? We are not the first people to exist inside of this community. Like, we're not the first. There are people who have been here before us, okay? So this is also the other part of like not throwing away people for the sake of clout. Where are our elders? Like, where are the people in the in the community they've seen this? This is not the first time that somebody's asked for accountability and their request hasn't been met. Like, I'm interested. I'm looking for, but don't be like, I don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. What you can do is just ask the survivor. Ask them what they need. That's the first thing.
And another thing I just also wanted to add is I just want to say, like, also fuck your language. Fuck your fucking language. Obviously, I mean this in the sense where, like, be aware of how your language affects people. But anyone who wants to make you feel small because you're not using the language, because I do not use the word displacement, and I don't know use the word exacto. You know what I mean? Like all these little fucking cute little bell words that these motherfuckers be sprinkling like disgusting parsley on their unseasoned ass food. Because I don't use not words that the same words as you, and you have already discredited someone. That's something that also really makes me mad, is that rage is normal. You think I'm going to have an abuse, Auntie? Absolutely fucking not, bitch. I'm mad, and that's okay. And any of you motherfuckers who are trying to police my madness, y'all can get it too. Like, I just want everyone to really understand that this anger I feel, bitch, I've been feeling this shit for a fucking year with all of the roller coasters. And I was never this, you know what I'm saying? This whole process has literally forced me to just really see my voice as a comedian, my voice as a person, my voice as a human, my voice is all these things, because I've had to keep doing this and keep bringing this up. I wrote this calling out and I was so nervous typing that message, and I felt so much freer after doing it. I think it was like 2 months ago.
Speaking of this calling out that you wrote, Mayowa, within this process, there have been people who have been on Mayowa's Instagram, literally checking what Mayowa is posting so that they can go and report back to Caleb. Also, this is not the first person that Caleb has harmed. There have been other people within the Q2B community that have reached out to be like, yo, this person has also caused me harm. So there are people who are like, yes, I will defile your privacy and go and bring the information that you're trying to keep on your page to your abuser with timestamps. And we want to tell survivors to not speak on their experiences when it's literally being policed every second of the day. Like Mayowa was asking me for permission to post about her experience on her social media. I'm like, babes, you don't need to ask me anything. That is your decision. If that's what you're choosing to do, if that's what you feel like is going to help your healing, live your best life. You're supported, you're held, you are seen, you are believed. Like, you don't have to prove that to anyone. Like, the fact that fear was already inherently there is so damaging. Like, this is the community that we're living in. This is the language that people are literally existing and navigating community with, is that if we don't do things in a certain way, if we don't go through some specific like routes or steps, then it's not valid what we're doing.
Because these motherfuckers think shit goes up and down, bitch. We go sideways. You know, I also feel like that we really think that things are like 1 and 2. And even when we talk about the concept of how people think therapy is like, oh my God, it comes from that trauma I had when I was 9. Like, I'm so healed now. And therapy is messy. Therapy is rage. Therapy is anger. Therapy is crying. Therapy is euphoric. Therapy is depressive. Therapy is all those emotions as one. We are not like this. We're not fucking linear. And when you expect me to do things linearly, you're already gonna fuck yourself up.
We are water. We are literally water.
Water
Water is a mess. how can you like, even when you contain the thing, it's still moving all over the place. So you can't come and be like, yeah, you need to exist in these certain types of ways. We need to honor our rage more. Go and carry all your friends who have been harmed and be like, yo, today we're raging, okay? If you want to go and do that by screaming the fuck in the water, that's fine. If you want to go and do that by just writing, like whatever you need to do, like get it out your body, like live in the ways that you need to live to be able to heal, because nobody's doing that for us. Nobody's doing that for us. We happen to do it for ourselves. And so there's no handbook. The handbook is how we write it, how our ancestors come through our bodies to tell us what we need to do to support ourselves, to navigate worlds where we're told that we shouldn't exist, worlds where we're told to shut the fuck up, when you should be listening to us. You don't have no fat friends. You don't have no trans friends. You don't have no dark-skinned black friends. You don't have no disabled friends. You don't know how to speak to us, but you want to come and be telling us how to live? Nah, you're not doing that here. Sorry, this is not the space for that. You want to like be doing your theory. You want to be doing your book club, but where's the book that was written?
Get your book club together. That's what you want. Get your book club. That's what they want. I just want to say, this has been 1 year. This motherfucker and I broke up a year ago. I'm gonna tell you, I broke up. I had to get out of my house. I was staying at my friend's place because I was so scared for myself. Even when I went to America, even when I went to America, he sent me a video of him being like, should I buy this flight to Atlanta? I kid you not, after I have blocked him, he sent me this on another account being like, should I buy this flight to America? Like, scary. I was scared. It has been 1 year. And I have not been able to speak for 1 fucking year. And if you know me personally, you know I speak. And I have been trying to do, at first I was trying to do all these cryptic messages like, I've been through a lot these days, struggling a lot. No one's caring about me. Everyone's like, oh my God, I love your fucking shirt. I'm like, something, okay, let me try to stop doing all this small. Let me go a little bit bigger and say, okay, I was in an abusive relationship. Same people who will be supporting him will be like, oh my God, that's so bad. And I'm like, yeah, it was with Caleb. And they're like, oh. That's literally been my shit. So this is my first time talking, and I'm already just finding so much healing and just saying all these things that for 1 year I've just been keeping and hoping I wouldn't have had to do this. And I really didn't want to, because honestly I was like, this doesn't even look good on my feed. I don't even want to have a random IG live on my feed. I wanted to have consistency, and I was like, this isn't even energetically, it's not even what I wanted to do. I wanted to post a twerking video, but now I have to post this IG live. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was like, this isn't my ideal. But I have to, this is truth, and this is just how life works. And I honestly think if you are living an honest life where you stand up and you speak out, I will be probably calling out for my whole life. So I want to get comfortable with this process, because this is actually how things have to be. If you see injustice and you don't say anything and you side with people, then you will have to do accountability. And that's just literally, you cannot live a life without creating harm, and you're not gonna live not facing the repercussions, because if it's not gonna be in your lifetime, it will be in your kid's lifetime. It will generationally carry with you. I'm still paying the image of the things that my own ancestors have done to this day, and I'm trying to be very fucking careful and be very fucking deliberate, but it's just shit that always carries with you.
Yeah, that's where we're at, y'all. Please do what you need to do. If you're trying to DM people, if you're trying to DM Black people to ask for advice, you better be DMing to ask them where their payment information is first, because you can't be getting all this labor for free. I'm here for my peeps. Like, I will do whatever I need to, because I know nobody's doing it for us. But if people are here looking for handbooks, trying to figure out how to survive or what we need to do to heal, don't be looking for that information for free. It's not free. It's literally lifetimes on lifetimes on lifetimes of traumatic experiences that get us to the point where people are like, oh yeah, you're so empathetic. It's not empathy. It's not empathy. It's just I can see your nonsense. That's all. Like, so don't come and be like, oh yeah, please tell me how to be accountable. You can just be accountable by being accountable. Somebody says, hey, you fucked up. Okay, fine. I fucked up. What do I do now? Like, and even then, in fact, you actually don't really get to ask survivors like what they need when you cause harm. Go and think by yourself. Go and do some self-reflection. Go and do that labor to really sit with the way that your harm has entered their body and the ways that you need to give them the reparations. That's the repercussion of your actions, right? These are the repercussions. Like, you fuck up, you have to deal with the repercussions. Like, nobody's doing labor out here for you for free. People should be out here invoicing abusers for the survivors. Be like, here, I heard that you've been abusing this person for 8 months. Here is the invoice. I'm gonna send it to the abuser. I mean, to the victim, to the survivor after. Like, I don't know. It's not that hard. Like, I know we're living in a capitalist society. We can't get away from that right now. We're Black, okay? Like, we are not the ones that are in the 1% that are controlling the way the world works. So nobody should come out here and be asking us to be doing things for free, because that's not vibe. That's not okay. It's not right. Maiwa, well done.
I just also want to end, I'm going to end soon, but I just want to also say, like, talk about colorism specifically within all of this as well, because the amount of times I have seen dark-skinned people being preyed on, because the truth is that we're fucking magical. We're fucking magical. And I think people, and they don't expect us to know. Like, I think that people genuinely don't expect me as a dark-skinned person to actually be able to realize that I have a lot to fucking offer, that I'm actually fucking incredible. That you want me to be, to not see my worth so you can take advantage of my worth, not me. I see myself. And so people come and they prey on it, and they want to just vampirely suck everything they can, because they know that when they dispose of you, there's not going to be anyone who gives a fuck.
Yep.
And it's fucking predatorial. And there's not enough discussion and discourse around the ways in which light-skinned people perpetuate harm against dark-skinned people in relationships, in political spaces, in workspaces, the dynamic in friendships. And people don't even reflect, like, what are the ways in which I could be harming someone? Even when I talked about the colorism within the relationship between Caleb, the way he was colorist to me, and the ways he admitted it in this kind of weird fucking way.
Even in the accountability process, Caleb admits to colorism, but doesn't take any responsibility for what that means. This is why I'm telling all you dark-skinned people out here, go and find your dark-skinned friends, because people will gaslight you, and you won't even realize it's happening until you're not in that situation anymore. You need people around you who look like you to actually support you. And I'm speaking specifically to dark-skinned people, because we don't have proximity to whiteness, okay, that allows us to just move through the world in certain ways. We don't have that. Like, we don't have that. But what we do have is a wealth of ancestral knowledge that we need to be affirmed, that needs to be constantly affirmed, okay? And I'm telling you, people who are not dark-skinned don't have the access to be able to do that. They're good. There's gonna be harm. It's inherently a thing. Like, it's not likely, probably not even on purpose, because they don't know. But if you're dark skinned, you need dark skinned friends, you need dark skinned partners. Otherwise, you're gonna be getting gaslit all the time. Please protect each other, and then you have the capacity to then go and engage with people who have proximity to whiteness, because we don't have that. And I don't even want it. It's not that I'm looking for it. I'm just saying that you should be around other people who also don't have it, so that you can feel grounded in this world that is literally trying to make us feel crazy all the fucking time.
Like, even when we're doing that dark skin healing space for sexual assault survivors, just seeing the overlaps of experiences and how our color has just literally been something that people, like, the ways in which nobody wants to talk about colorism, but it's a big factor playing a role into everything that we do. Like, that's just something I'm very passionate about, and I want people to really just think on it. Just really think on it. And like as Tobi said, if you're dark skinned, please reach out to other dark skinned people, because it is so fucking isolating. And the ways in which that harm will go unnoticed, because nobody gives a fuck about talking about colorism. As if colorism is not what really, as if color isn't how racism has began. As if when you tell me I'm an African booty scratcher, or when you tell me I look Black, or you make fun of my nappy hair, as if that does not mean something. As if that Blackness is not something that people do not want to have. As if people saying, oh, my hair is so nappy, does not mean something to Blackness. And you know what I'm saying? All these things are so normal, but people do not want to forget where it starts, what color it starts, what complexion it starts with, how dark our skin, where it comes from. Not me, I'll be screaming this for my lifetime. You'll see me all talking this truth. Like, I'm not here for it. Also, the ways in which dark skin is sexualized and fetishized. But that's another thing. I'll do something else about it. It's just a lot. And nobody wants to go and look and be like, you know, these things are actually very true. And maybe we should be careful when we interact with these people. Maybe we should be, Afrophobia. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this has been said, but it needs to be said again. I've been trying to engage in an accountability process with Maiwa and Caleb since June, and that has led to no taking of accountability on Caleb's part. Just further excuses and further questions, and asking for more labor from me as a dark-skinned person, which I have no problem with doing this work. Okay, like, I have no problem with doing the work if the work is going to lead to our community actually feeling a little bit safer. But if that doesn't happen, then people are just going to have to get called out. And that's where we're at right now. So yeah, you want to be like out here hypersexualizing dark skinned people, telling us we're beautiful, telling us you like really you love this aesthetic, you love the way like your skin sits on against a dark skinned person's skin, but you don't actually want to care for dark skinned people. That's boring. That's not gonna sit. That's not gonna stand. That's not gonna lay. That's just not gonna be anywhere where we are. So if that's your MO, move yourself somewhere else. If you don't know how to be accountable, don't engage with people. Go and do the work before you then come and bring your trauma to other people. And that's not to say that we shouldn't have trauma or we don't have trauma. But if you're not willing to acknowledge it, stop. Just stop. If you don't have access to therapy, you can just do breathing. You can literally just write. There's so many things to be done, and it's not always contingent.
Therapy.
It's not contingent on money. It's not about money. It's not about money. Your healing doesn't have to be about money. Your healing can just be you acknowledging your trauma. It can be you just being like, yeah, I know that I'm experiencing these things. Okay. And then you can see people who'll be able to support you through that. But when you're doing it and then using it to cause harm to other people, we're not finna just be like, oh yeah, we understand that you've been through a lot. We soon call. What about the people that you're harming? What about the people that have also been through things? Like, where are they supposed to go? Yeah. It's boring. It's tiring. There's so many other ways we can be moving through the world.
We have 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Let me just say this right here. Okay, I want everyone to listen to me. I want you to hold your abusers accountable. You cannot silence me. I have kept my mouth quiet for 1 fucking year. Not saying anything to any of y'all, and I have a lot to say. I'm not done, no. You think you picked the wrong one today. You have picked the wrong. You think, oh,